Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys here. I'm Christian Ocampo, and today I'm being joined by Nicole Endicott. How you doing, Nicole?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining us for this interview. We're really excited to have you here.
I'm excited to finally be able to talk with you guys. It's been a long time, and I'm really, really excited to talk with you guys today.
Nice. So we're excited to have you here for, I believe, your very first interview, and we have some exciting questions we'd like to ask you. Uh,
Sure.
First of all, what is it like working in the industry today?
It's a really exciting time to work in the industry today. There's so many different ways that people are putting art out and, different types of art that is being created and content that's being created that it kind of allows everyone on all levels of performance and, where you are as an artist, where you are as a performer, to be able to go through and find someone to collaborate with and work with. So it's been really wonderful to see, all the small indie projects being made. And then, you have these really large projects, Funimation, things like that being made, big video games. And so it's exciting because, the more people that work on these things and are excited about them, the more art that gets made.
Right, you are. So, during your time in this industry, what is your favorite show you have worked on?
Um, I'm very, very biased to Seven Mortal Sins, obviously. It's wonderful, wonderful guilty pleasure, anime. But at the same time, I've worked on a couple of shows here in the past recently that I really enjoyed. And a couple of them I can't talk about unfortunately right now, but yeah, I've really enjoyed the time I did with Seven Mortal Sins, and probably my favorite show because it was my first one. So everybody holds that a little dear, that you always fond memories of your first big thing.
That's usually what people say. The first one's always the memorable one. All right, another show you got to work on was like working on Kakuryu, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits.
That show was so much fun. And the best part of working on that was that I didn't have mouth flaps. So all of my lines, I pretty much just get to go in and say, hey, here's my lines, and one take, and we're done. And so it's kind of nice when you have those characters where you just get to be able to go through and go in, and you feel like you're nailing it every time, but then you just realize you don't have any flaps to match, so it makes it real easy.
It helps make things way easier. All right, since we really touch base on Seven Mortal Sins, what was that working on that show?
That show was so much fun. It was kind of awkward at first, I will admit, being that that was my first show ever doing ADR anime. I've done work before in other formats, but to go in and say, okay, you're going to do voiceover work and it's going to be awesome and you're going to match flaps. And oh, by the way, you're going to be the main character and that main character is naked a lot. Welcome. So, I think if you listen to the first episode of that show, you can hear me having a panic attack the entire time because I didn't know that I was the main character until I got in that booth to record. So, yeah, that's a fun little tidbit to listen to that first episode. If you hear me, you'll just hear me pretty much hyperventilating the entire time. So, but it was so much fun. And Dave Trosco is amazing. He's amazing to work with. He's such a creative person. He's such a wonderful director. He always made me feel comfortable. He always made me, he really challenged me to do my best. And I really couldn't have asked for, a better first time director. And I had so much fun working with him and with everybody else on that show because that show is ridiculous. We all know that. And that show is, like I've said, it's trashy TV that you just want to watch and you want to watch more of it. And we tried our best to do a good job on that show to make it feel, like it was more than just, am I allowed to say the word boobs? Boobs. It's more than that, So it's more than, it has a little bit of a story to it. It will make you laugh, and that was the best part is just getting to remake art like that and make it into our own and make it, very fun, a fun time.
Sure was, and awesome job to Dave Trusco. He really put his heart and soul into it and gathered such a great cast of people.
Yeah, he does that with all of his work. He's a really, really interesting director to work with.
Yes, he's got great style with what he does.
Yeah.
All right, and another show you got to work on. What was it like working on Brave Witches?
So, funny enough, when I did the work for Brave Witches, that was pretty much my first week at Funimation. So, I'm coming off of doing Seven Mortal Sins, and Chris, the director, is just like, "Yeah, I'm going to make you, bring you into the show, and you're going to play this very militant character." And it was fun because one, I'm still fairly new at this point doing it, and two, it's like, well, now I know. Now I know what I'm going to get cast for in all these roles is just the like super authoritative people, like the people that are going to boss people around. I know who I am now as an actor. And I thought, am I going to get typecast as the person that goes through and bosses everybody around? Because I'm fine with that. But at the same time, it was kind of fun where it was like, oh, 2 roles in 1 week? Like, this is the best day ever. So, yeah, it was a fun time to work on. It was a fun show.
Another show you got to work on. Here's a longer title. What was like working on In Another World with My Smartphone?
It was nice. Tia Ballard, who was the director of that one, brought me in to play one of the characters' mothers, and she's a wonderful director as well, and she really tries to bring the best out of her actors. And so she gave me a comment where every time I'm in the booth with her, she gives it to me, and I love it. It was, you have a very, very interesting voice or very fragile voice. And I'm always like, I always take that to heart when a director gives you good, feedback and appreciate something about your voice that is maybe different than everybody else's and points it out to you. So it was fun, and I really did enjoy working on that show with her.
All right, and now we have a funny question we like to ask you. If you could be any character you have played in real life, who would you be? And you can mix and match.
Let's see. I would have to say Lucifer, even though maybe not all of her, because she's a little bratty. Maybe Lucifer, and then for the most part, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say Lucifer because obviously she's the top banana there. So she's super in charge of everything. And turns out she's not a bad guy. Spoiler alert. Save you all. Thank you. But, yeah, that would probably be it. I think everybody needs some self-confidence, and she has it in abundance.
All right. Now, is there anything else coming out that you can talk about or anything you want to plug in at this time?
Sure. So, little known fact about me, before I started voice acting, I'm actually on the other side of the business. So, I do a lot of voiceover directing, and I have a company. It's called One Up Casting. I run it with fellow voice actor Jacob Browning, and him and I have been working on a big game that came out. Well, our demo came out last October. It's called Visage or Visage. It is a horror game, independent horror game, and so we did all the voice directing. We did all the voice work behind that, and it's got a lot of wonderful voice actors in it. And the game was released. The demo was released last October, and it's doing really well. So we're gearing up to have the next chapter of that released here. It should be February, I believe, this month at some point, and then the full game release should be about the second quarter of this year. So that's our big exciting thing we've been working on. We've worked on that game for about 2 years. So it takes a long time when you have a very small team of people working on something. And so far it's getting great reviews. It's getting great. If you like scary games, it's a wonderful thing. And, him and I do a lot of work with our company, One Up Casting, for mostly independent video games, but we're always looking for animators. We're looking for, any small project, big project to work on, because we believe in art. We believe in making art. We believe in sharing art. We believe that, there's no such thing as, a small project if your heart and soul's in it, and you deserve to have good audio. You deserve to have good voice actors, and for creators, a lot of times that's hard to find those people because there's a lot of people out there that, maybe don't necessarily have the best equipment, so, or don't know how to work their best equipment. And on the same thing, I like to help actors too. So everyone has to have their start somewhere. everyone has to have a lucky break somewhere. Everyone has to have someone that believes in them and is willing to take a chance on them. So that's where my passion lies, is really helping small people create their content and helping, voice actors get their starts and do things like that.
Now that's very noble, and I wish you nothing but good fortune with your company and everyone else that's involved with it. So
Thank you.
keep up the great work. All right, and now we've come to our last question, and we ask this to everyone. Any Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any other that social media for the fans to contact you?
Sure. You can find me on the social medias. My Twitter handle is @sweetpoke, which is nothing to do with my name. I understand that. It's from my old days as a pastry chef, but I kept it and I like it. So @sweetpoke on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram at Endicott, which is my last name. And you can also find my website for my company, One Up Casting, on Twitter at oneupcasting.com. Or, yeah, on the website at oneupcasting.com, and on Twitter at oneupcasting is the handle. So feel free to come find me, send me messages. If you find my website and you're a voice actor wanting to, get your name into our audition list, give me an email. If you are a creator wanting to do content, big, small, doesn't matter, give me an email. We'll work something out.
All right. Well, thank you for your time for this interview. We, the Ohio Guys, appreciate your time making this happen for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yep. And thank you to our viewers tuning in for this episode of the Ohio Guys here. Thank you all, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.